Okay.
Ah, it's just gone midday.
Which means?
I don't know. What does it mean?
Well, it means the show is
It
live.
means it's the afternoon.
Hello, I am Russ Kane. He is indeed the Count of Cravats, letting me down today with no cravat. Well, we're having trouble streaming to your destination. Oh, there we are.
Oh, dear.
I don't know what that means. Anyway,
That's
welcome along,
exciting.
everybody, to the Midday Show. Phil, it seems like ages since we've been together.
Well, it has been, because it's been since before I was away.
And you, yeah. Oh, so how many weeks is this? Weeks?
Well, I've been back 2 weeks now.
Wow, and you were away for 2 weeks or something.
I know, so it's been about a month. That's how your ears are working properly now. You see, they've had a time to recover.
The whole thing is feeling much better. So, let's kick off on a light note. Greta Thunberg.
Really?
The best bit. Well, it was all fantastic because it was all a monumental load of crap. But
no kidding. No one saw that coming.
No one saw that coming. Oh God! Did you see her performative artist bullshit at the airport in France when she landed in Paris? Pretending
well, she pretended to be handcuffed.
She pretended she'd been handcuffed. She hadn't been handcuffed at all.
Well, I mean, what I particularly enjoyed about the whole circus that was Thunberg is that she claimed that she'd been kidnapped. Okay. When I don't ever remember any kidnappers paying for flights and sending someone to another country. That's not very good that's not very good kidnapping. It's the same way that people cry out genocide when they see Gaza. It's not a very good genocide. The population of Gaza has increased since the 7th of October.
Unbelievable. It has increased. It's increased exponentially. What the hell is going on now? For reasons that I don't know. All right, hang on. My reason that I can't get rid of certain what the hell is going on here? I'm getting all sorts of crazy.
This is what you call live.
No, it's all crazy messages coming up that I have no idea.
Oh dear.
Anyway, it's been a hell of a week, hasn't it? It has been one hell of a week. We normally lighten it up.
Welcome to World War III.
It's just been unbelievable. I've got your favorite mug. You always think it's my.
I love that. Well, I tell you how much I love that mug. Have a look what I bought when I was in Corfu. Can you see the pattern on this ring?
Oh. Was there a little shop saying we sell rings like Russ's mug?
Yes, it's a very niche. It's a new startup.
It's a
bit of a niche brand at the moment, but I think it will catch on.
It's brilliant. There we go.
You too could look like Russ's mug.
You are. I'm making it a bit brighter.
Well, I think you should. My namesake. You are live, you know.
I know. I don't care.
My namesake, Philip. Okay,
Harlin. Your real name is not Phil Dave. It's Philip Harlin.
No, my namesake being Philip, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. Oh, I suppose it is. I guess Phil's short for Philip. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
who'd have thought
Philip
that?
Harlin. Philip Harlin,
he says hello, Russ and Phil, which is very
nice of him. Thank you so much. Thank you. That is very nice. What is it? Kimi Lashma. Now you have to give it drama. Kimi Lashma. Hello, everyone. I'm loving the sunshine.
I didn't know she spoke the same as I did.
I haven't seen anything today. All I've done is been staring at a screen. Isn't it awful?
And then Flash himself says,
"Favor of the universe." Big excitement. Well, no, not big excitement. I have two phones. One is for my celibate business, and one is my other personal phone. Right? And Merry Friday, gents. Great to see Phil has risen to the dizzy heights of president of the John Travolta.
Yes, it's the hair.
It's no, it's not. It's the outfit.
I know what he means. I'm only joking.
Leslie enters and smiles. Yes. Do you like the Bee Gees? I've never liked the Bee Gees. I don't like the Bee Gees at all.
It's not I don't like them. I don't understand how someone can make a career out of wearing such tight trousers
and singing accordingly because your nuts are killing you.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought.
I mean, I wouldn't say the trousers are tight, but you could tell their religion.
So. Hey! There's tight, very tight, and intravenous. Hey!
As I said to a chap wearing cellophane shorts only the other day, I can see your nuts. Leslie Jones enters stage left, smiles. Hello, Russ and Phil. Oh. What can I tell you?
That is such a silly joke.
Correct.
That is such a silly joke.
I can't take credit. That's Tim Vine. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, Tim Vine's one of my absolute favorite. Love Tim Vine. He's hilarious. Don't like his brother, Sanctimonious Cyclist. The Sanctimonious Cyclist. But I do love Tim. But isn't it amazing how two brothers can be so utterly different?
Well, I tell you what's utterly fascinating is when I have actually had the I'd say pleasure of meeting both of them. But let's just say Jeremy Vine was the one I got on with. So.
I bet you did. Well, if you're doing wearing a lycra,
no. I'm fundamentally opposed to his politics and have frequently criticized him on Twitter. But make no mistake, I'm just saying, out of the two, when I met, I got on better with Jeremy. I'm just saying.
When I did the Edinburgh Fringe, I just dropped that. So when I did the Edinburgh Fringe for a few weeks with my one-man show, Tim Vine very kindly invited me to his show. Oh. And we met afterwards at the afterwards, at the party.
And he said, if you just make your way over there, the box office is there.
I despair. Now, Scott Lyons says this, Russ, can you settle a dispute for us in our studio, which I'm currently on there watching you? Did you do a voiceover for the Renault 11 car advert circa in 1985-86, featuring the capital flying out? Let me tell you about that. I missed.
Why does he sound like Richard Park?
Because that's my all-encompassing Scottish accent. Interesting way to hand in your resignation, nonetheless. Wish you luck in your new job.
It's so true. Interesting way to hand in your resignation.
Yeah. My favourite was the late. I'm going to answer your question in a minute. Was the great Peter Young, P.Y. the Pork Pie. Lovely guy. Such a sweet guy. Peter's walking to the studio, his own headset in hand. Peter, where are you going? Well, Richard, I'm just going to do my show. I think you'll find, dear boy, that your last show was yesterday. Couldn't make it up.
Could you imagine?
You couldn't make it up.
Oh, dear.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
What a weird world we work in.
Back in those days with voiceovers, you would get a voiceover. We're going back to the early 80s. So you got to multiply everything by a gazillion, right? Back in those days, you would get a voiceover fee of 250, 300 quid or 500 quid or whatever. And then you would get a residual payment in those days. So every time the advert was shown on TV or on the radio, you got another payment. Naturally, the advertising industry thought, this is insane, and they stopped it. So you only get the one fee, unless you were somebody absolutely huge like David Suchet or somebody like that, and you would get what they call a buyout, and they'd negotiate. No matter how many times they showed the advert, they would negotiate with you. You'd have a one-off fee. That would be it, and it would be a lot of money. Anyway, Renault were doing an advert, as Fat Scott Lyons is pointing out, and it was for whatever car it was. They're saying the Renault 11, I couldn't tell you. And I had just been made the Flying Eye. And a week before, this is November, what am I talking about? So I joined September, October 1984, all those years ago. And I hadn't come on board yet. And they recorded it. And the voice you're hearing, Fat Scotty, is David Briggs. David Briggs, the man who actually hired me at Capital Radio, the man that I'm still friends with all these years later. And David Briggs, best known because he created a tiny little, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, television quiz show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That's David Briggs, one of the nicest men on the planet. And I absolutely love the guy. Leslie Ian Jones.
Now do you see why Tarrant got the gig?
Yeah,
it all adds up, doesn't it?
Well, it's much more than that, because the writers of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire were Stephen Knight and Mike Whitehill. And Mike Whitehill and Stephen Knight were our writers in the marketing advertising department at Capital. Steve Knight, by the way, now is one of the most in-demand Hollywood scriptwriters on the planet. He is. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Fat Scotty never want to overreact. Briggsy, shut the front door. Yeah, it was David Briggs who always said, "I'm so sorry about that, Russ." He wasn't really. The end. I can still remember the end line. And as for the, oh no, I can't. His last words were, forget it. That was it.
And might we say bon après-midi to Françoise Pascal.
Arr, arr. We had such an interesting conversation when you were on your travels. I think it was on a Monday or a Wednesday with Francois and many others, all about political correctness, because obviously Francois was in
mind your language.
Well, that's what we're talking about. I'm saying, and it was
I'm telling you to mind your language.
Get from my nerves there, son. Beginning to wind me up. Francois,
you've missed me. Admit it.
Yeah. What's a shoe? Is that a sweet? Is it a Merci, mes choux. What are you? Oh,
shoe is a cabbage. French. Shoe is cabbage.
Well, why are we cabbage? We are won't sell much ice cream at that speed. Wah, 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 wah. Merci, mes choux.
Oh, shoot. Oh, sorry. Hang on. No, that's not quite right. Because it's
kisses.
Sorry, CHOUX.
Somebody called Linda Dave. Do you know Linda? What a coincidence. She's got the same surname as you. What a thought. Who'd have guessed? Francois is in the chateau. Make some noise.
Chateau de
never
Briand.
Understood what any of that crap means. Now, here we have. Yeah. Who wants to be a millionaire? Thank you, Scotty, for telling me this. God, like I didn't know. It was based on Terence Capital Breakfast Cash Giveaway. It was It was a combination of the cash giveaway and the bong game competition.
Thank you. I was right. My little cabbages.
Oh, le petit chou-fleur is cauliflower, isn't it? Chou-fleur is cauliflower.
I don't
My little cabbages.
I know courgette is courgette. So
those French keep nicking our words like le weekend. Blooming chic. Blooming outrageous. Only Françoise Pascal could call Phil and I a cabbage, and we still take it as a compliment and think it sounds sexy.
Because in French it is. Could you imagine sort of saying, "Thank you, my cabbage"? That doesn't sound quite so.
No, it sounds crap. But when she says it, she's...
Actually, it's Meishu, so my cabbage is, but still.
Oui. Plural. Rosemary Jessup, good afternoon, gentlemen. Just got stables ready to bring horses in tonight due to bad storm. What? It's storming. It's beautiful. Oh, it's going to be...
No, tonight it's going to storm. So brace yourself. Get the earplugs out because you won't sleep, I'm telling you.
I can't sleep. Oh, my sleeping has gone to shit. I can't sleep.
I took advantage of the nice weather the other day, by the way.
And what did you do? Did you get it out again? Nice out, isn't it? Put it away. What?
Wednesday afternoon after work.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Chantal Rickards says shoe also means poppet, apparently. So there you go.
You see, Chantal could turn anything not good into something wonderful. What a woman. What a woman, I say.
May we. Yes.
May we,
so the rents, okay, namely Linda and the rents, namely the rents, RENTS, namely Linda and Ray, right? The other day they took
is there a pair of them? Is there a pair of these rents?
Yes, I have two parents, thank God. So they took themselves off.
You see what I did there?
What was it?
I'll move on.
Oh, pair of rents. So parents. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's quite good.
No, he's still here. No, I can't. No, I can't tell him. You tell him. Right, come on. That was Chantal.
Anyway, so like I was trying to say to you, what happened is that the parents the other day decided to take themselves off down to Eastbourne for the day, and it was hopefully quite nice for them because it was going to be a sort of a case of going out for the first time in a long time since the unfortunate demise of Monty Dave, our little miniature dachshund, and they decided in the end they were going to go to Brighton because Eastbourne was a bit too far.
They wanted to go to Brighton to be with the communists.
And I decided after work that because Brighton was a 1-hour train ride from where I work, I'd go and join them.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
So there you go. I went to Brighton the other day in the sun. That was quite nice.
Is that your Kiss Me Slow hat?
That's my new fedora because the other one got a bit wrecked. So.
Did it? What happened? Went to a Hamas meeting and they didn't like it? They misunderstood?
No. Well, it was a catastrophe, but the...
Whoa!
Oh, my God.
Man,
and whilst I was there, I made a new friend.
Yeah. Is that Stephen?
Steven Seagal. I see what you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Francois, what is kisses in French? Damn.
That's what confused me. Look, Francois says misspelled schwa. It's a shoe. And that's what I thought. That's a CHOUX.
I'm completely
is cabbage.
Confused now. I don't. What are we saying?
Bison, apparently.
Bison.
Bison is kissed.
Bisons? I've been kissed by a bison.
Oh no! Hang on a second.
Wash your mouth.
Is gros bisou.
Gros bisou. What is that? That's a big kiss. Oh, big kiss. I'm getting it now.
You see, you're learning this.
Now, the old Phil will have no idea what I'm about to say. Francois might, and a few others won't, but I think your mum might. There was a show when television was television. It was on late at night. It was called Suivez la piste. Suivez la piste. Follow the word. And it taught you to be, it was a big show about to be French. How to speak French. Suivez la piste. Francois, do you remember that? When I was a little kid, used to watch it, try and speak French. The only time I really had to learn French was when I was on holiday and there were two French girls who were steaming hot. And I thought, better learn some French. Didn't work out particularly well, but my French improved.
I guess you have to be there.
It was when I was alive, not half dead like I am now. When I actually had a life.
On the plus side, at least the other half of you is still alive, so that's something.
Well, yeah, just about. I went, the favourite joke that cracked up you and Chantal about the prostate exam. You remember that one? Right.
Vaguely. I remember there was something that amused us.
The joke was, so this week, because not feeling 100%, I had to go back to hospital, and I had to see the specialist for all this stuff, and had yet another prostate exam. So
it's like looking up an old friend.
It really is. So I said to the guy who's going to be my surgeon, I said, isn't this dignified? He had a fantastic sense of humor, this guy, and he went, never mind you. What about me? I do this for a living. I thought that was just great. And then I managed
every morning I'm up at the crack.
Yeah. And then I managed to get the gag in, even though I was somewhat in pain. I managed to get, I said, I suppose don't put two fingers in unless you want a second opinion. So that was the joke. It's a variation, which I'm pleased to say
did he find it amusing? Oh, good.
He did find it amusing. He had a fantastic set. I'd never met him before, and I have to say,
and you're like, he still writes.
he still writes. We've decided just to be friends. Anyway, no, I have to say, thank God for the NHS. They've been just sensationally good. They've been just. I know everybody knocks the NHS and everything. I had an 11 o'clock appointment at a huge hospital, and everybody from the receptionist. I mean, this is a monstrous hospital. It's just vast. Somewhere near Phil Dave Towers, oddly enough.
Oh, you should have said.
Well, no, I wasn't.
I'm sure you felt like socializing after.
Yeah,
that.
I really felt like socializing what I went through. That was just part of it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And
you have to carry one of those ring donut things around with you to sit on.
No, I just bought a whole box of Krispy Kreme and sat on
Oh, I
those.
see.
I think I misread the memo. Anyhow, oh God, look at this. Look at this. They called my prostate examiner Kit Kat. He always used 4 fingers. Jesus.
Good Lord. I
Look
hope it
at
was
this on radio
chocolate.
too. What's this?
I hope that was chocolate.
Stop. Oh, Christ.
I said to my French neighbours.
You're disgusting. A finger of fudge. How did
Have
that
a
song
break.
go? Have a
What?
kick. Now, how did that song go? A finger of fudge.
No, that's Beans Means Heinz.
Is it? Well, it has the same effect. I said to my French
There
neighbours,
are
meaning
lots of fun in every way. Pick up a tin of beans today and say Beans Means Heinz. That's what you're referring to.
never do drugs, kids. I said to my French neighbours, meaning
They're magic beans then.
magic beans. You're right. I missed the restaurant that closed down called L'Excuse, but said Église. It did a good takeaway pizza, but then was told Église is a church.
Oops.
They had a very limited menu at that place, that particular restaurant. They did wafers and wine. That was it. Nothing else. Or you could drink water from a place called The Font. That was the whole menu.
But it was quite good because actually the wine was provided by Thames Valley.
Hey, wah, 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 wah. What's this? A finger. Yeah, you wouldn't say. Oh, Chantal probably wrote it. No, he shan't. Finger of fudge is just enough to give your kids a treat. Boom, boom,
Why
boom,
don't
boom.
I
SO
don't
blue.
understand why
What?
any of the adverts now have good solid jingles behind
They
them.
don't. They're all crap.
There's some, like, don't get me wrong, there
Do
are one or
you-
two that do have some. But
I'll
they've
tell you
only
the
got-
best
they've-
advert at the moment, and it's fantastic. And I'm not being sarcastic. The acting in it is, and I love the advert. I'm not entirely sure what you can do with it, but it's for Uber, which you never thought you'd hear me say that. No, I know.
No.
I don't use Uber at all now. And it's for trains. And the acting on it is just great. It's these random passengers going up to the train driver and having these sort of insane conversations, thinking they've booked the train just for themselves. They're really good. Really good.
I
ads.
haven't seen that.
Oh, it's excellent. It's a lovely ad. It's just great. Oh God, I really hate that Flash advert. Well, I hate all of what Flash. Oh, no, yeah. I think Queen must have sold every song in their back catalogue to some product or other. If it's not a sofa, it really dilutes the impact, don't you think, Phil? It dilutes if you're going to just have every song as a Queen song, if it's a sofa or a chair or.
But you say that, but then at the same time, maybe what it does, it brings Queen to a whole new generation.
I'm not going to read this out. You can read this out.
Right. Oh, gracious me. Thanks for that. All right. My doctor was a chubby brown tribute act and told blue jokes during prostate exams.
Oh, Christ.
I said, that's near the knuckle, doc. He said, actually, it was my wrist, but you were close. Disgusting. What's the matter? Goodness sake.
A finger
It's like with children.
Well, it's Friday. It's been a really, really, really
rubbish week. I hear you.
week. Here's something. I was a celebrant yesterday at a wonderful funeral. It was the chap. I never met him. Talking about 6 degrees of separation. I worked with a lady at Capital. I worked with many people at Capital over 20 years. The lady's father passed away, and she went into her local funeral directors and said she wanted a celebrant. And they started to read out a list of their celebrants that they recommend. And my name came up, and she said, "Oh my God, can't believe it's him. Yes, you got to." Anyway, so we were reunited over 20 plus years, and I was very honored and privileged to do the service. And it was packed. It was a great place. And it was absolutely packed. And it was an amazing service. Beautiful. The guy sounded... I actually came away, Phil, thinking, when I go, which at the way I'm feeling could be about 4 o'clock this afternoon. When I go, if I get a service like that and those tribute, it was just fabulous. I got emotional. I never met the chap. It was wonderful. And
I've always wondered what people will say when I'm not here anymore. I'm imagining the words "thank God" will feature quite a lot, but other than that,
I think the words, what time's the pub open?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Phil who?
Phil?
Oh dear.
He was all right. Don't say that because
My mother's starting to converse with Francoise in French now.
I was in the middle of a very interesting, spooky story.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was still going. Sorry. Blimey, right.
Anyway, the guy's son was wearing the deceased's smartwatch. I'm in the middle of the service. Yeah, I mean, you wear things that are, remind you of your parents or whatever, right? And all of a sudden, it starts to go off in the middle of the service. Huh?
Watch out.
Huh? And everyone was diving around in the front row looking for where this noise, this buzzing, and kind of noise alert sound. And it was the deceased watch. And I think that's beautiful.
It gives a new definition to "I'll be watching you," I suppose.
I'll be seeing you in all these old familiar places. And here's another lovely thing. And you can believe in it or you could not believe in it. I don't know. It's your choice. Entirely up to you. The family were deciding where to have the drinks afterwards, little memorial. You go on after you've had the funeral service, people go on to raise a glass or two in the memory of, Auntie Maureen or Uncle Fred or whatever it is. And they went to this place in the same town as where I was conducting the funeral yesterday. And they weren't sure. And they were looking for a sign. And one of them said, he always loved little robins. Just in casual conversation. A little robin.
Robin Reliance.
You're an idiot. A little robin, how to ruin a beautiful moment.
What?
Flew in to the table where they were standing at the restaurant and started to tap the table at that precise moment. If that's not a sign, tell me what is. Isn't that gorgeous?
No, I like signs.
It's a gorgeous thing. I think that's beautiful. It's lovely. And it gave the family enormous comfort. Gave them great comfort.
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice thing. And you could say, well, it's just coincidence. Yeah, could be. But it gave the family such wonderful warmth and it gave the family such heart, It was lovely. I like things like that.
Speaking of heart, my mother is conversing with Francois.
All right, let's get back to you because it's all about you. Go on, Paul.
Well, to be fair, I'm not here very often.
No, I know. Well,
Francois
be grateful
Pascal,
for small mercies. That's what I say.
I think she says, "Big kisses, also, my friend. I love you."
What's going on here with your mother? She's taking French O level or something now.
Maybe. And then Francois says, "Me as well. Big." And I don't know what that other word is.
Oh, Callens. It's a shop in Croydon. Callens.
Chantal. What's Callens mean?
Oh, she knows everything.
Hello.
Now you've woken Chantal up. That's not good. She doesn't know.
Okay, no worries. Back to you in a sec. Anyway, and then Scotty says, "I've told my youngest son that when I'm dead, and as those curtains in the creme close, I want him to text everyone off my phone saying, 'That's all, folks.'" I've always thought the best thing for that would be the theme tune to Countdown. Hi, Chantal.
Now you've got her blowing her nose.
Oh, well, it's a human
You're
function.
ruining the image of the pulchritudinous.
You do know that it's a perfectly human function to blow one's nose. Anyway.
Not if you're Chantal.
Chantal, you're looking ridiculously tanned. Have you been in the back
tanned
garden
and
again?
Coiffed and fabulous. What's going on?
No, I haven't been in the back garden, but I'm about to. Heading off on my summer holidays tomorrow. So this time in a week or in a fortnight, I'm not quite sure.
Unrecognizable.
I will be very, very, very brown.
You'll think it's Shirley Bassey.
Yes, they'll be holding me up at immigration, wondering if I'm right for Great Britain or not.
Are you going? Have you booked the usual B&B at Margate, or how's it going?
No,
Caravan?
No. To all of those. I'm going to Croatia.
I do like to be beside the sea.
I'm
Croatia. Oh, nice.
Croatia. I've never been. I hear it's magnificent.
Don't know. I've never been. I'm going to be.
Everyone who goes. My mate Arnon goes there a lot, and he says it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Everyone I know who's been to Croatia says it is gorgeous.
Right.
As are the women.
Oh, okay. Well, there are four of us.
That will help, Chantal.
Well, you never know. No, for once, Chantal will be in a place where she isn't the most pulchritudinous and will have to walk that extra mile for once. Yeah.
No, we're going to be at sea, so
Sorry?
we're bobbing about on a boat for a week.
Why? You can't afford a hotel? Can we? Phil and I can help out.
Posher than a hotel. Posher than a hotel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, gracious.
So a bit of sailing. Yeah, a bit of sailing.
Funny enough, I read that one of the boats in the Serpentine has gone missing.
We are sailing.
Vic Reeves.
And actually, I am going with a chap who used to write jingles.
What?
Yes, he used to write the music for
No,
jingles.
stop.
What?
I'm going with a chap. You've just broken a million hearts.
No, he's the skipper.
Oh, what a career shift. Good Lord. Used to write jingles. Now he's a skipper. Gracious.
No, well,
I think we're going near the rocks. Oh, dear. We're going near the rocks. I say, yes, my dear, get a life jacket on. A life jacket on. Oh, there we go. That's how it goes.
Yeah. No, he's chartered a boat.
Is that what you call a C sharp?
Yeah. Very good.
Timmy Lashmar sounds fab. Looking up at millions of stars. How lovely.
I hope it will. Yeah.
I haven't had a break.
Yeah.
Croatia. I haven't had a break in 7 years now. I've worked out.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
I know. It is why I look like my father. He's been dead 21 years. So there we go. That's why.
I haven't had a break in 2 weeks. It's outrageous.
Yeah, you get on my nerves with your break. Always looking so happy on your holidays.
That's why I'm always so refreshed, is because I know how to look after myself.
I mean, you look like 30, 40 years younger than me. That's what really annoys me.
By a curious coincidence.
You are. I know. He's my love child. I never talk about it.
Holidays are good for everybody, and they should be taken.
I don't know what to do on a holiday, Chantal. I'll be honest with you. I never
you could write, or you could read. You could read a new book. Learn a language.
Write a new book.
Or just do nothing. Just empty your head and watch the world go by.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that. Now you're talking my language. Yeah. That sounds all right. That's all right. On holiday, that's good.
You know why he doesn't go anywhere, don't you? Because he can't resist the temptation to look down and start saying what's happening with the traffic.
Stop it.
You need to slow down.
I stop that. I never think about that. I don't know. It's always very sweet, but I never think about it. Okay, so what has come across your purview this week?
Well, a bit of a mixed bag. Have you seen some nice things this week? I've got some good things. Have you seen anything that you want to tell me about?
I've got to tell you, I have seen absolutely the square root of sod all. Nothing at all.
Okay.
Nothing. I've not heard of that. Was it good?
It was excellent. It's Jason Statham.
Great title.
The square root of sod all.
So I have to tell you what I was watching on Netflix the other day. But first of all, I have to find the name of the flipping thing, because my brain doesn't work very well when it comes to names. But all I can tell you is this brilliant documentary. I think it was called A Deadly Marriage or something. Yes, A Deadly American Marriage, right?
That's basically all of them, isn't it?
Okay, so this was about... it was about sort of the... there was a chap by the name of Jason Corbett. It was quite an infamous case of the way he was, really quite brutally killed. And it features sort of now his children. Oh, look at Epps. Now that his children are a bit older and they sort of are old enough to testify and stuff like that, it's sort of bringing up the case again. Fascinating stuff, because you're toyed with. It's one of those documentaries where you start off obviously being in support one way, then you start supporting the other side, and then you support back to the original side, and you think, no wonder the jury couldn't make up their mind on this. So It was very interesting. An hour and 40. It's quite long, but I do recommend it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's. I will then suggest back to you something else that's on Netflix that I haven't quite finished, but I've gone forwards, backwards, and it's a documentary. It's about a case.
You weren't watching Wimbledon.
Yes, that's what it was. It was called Wimbledon.
Yeah. Not the best film in the world. But anyway, there we are.
Sorry, yes. So what was it called? Sorry, Chantal.
It's got the most ridiculous title, but if you're trying to capture the world of, sort of social media and grab people's attention, then the title of Cocaine Air Smugglers at 30,000 Feet probably would grab you pretty quickly.
Not to be sniffed at.
I'm going to say that. Oh, good God.
I guess those are airlines. Thank you.
Well, it's it's a French documentary. So you can.
Do they surrender halfway through and that's the end of the show?
Indeed. But you can change, as I'm sure you know, you can change the language.
It's got a snortical theme.
It's a very snortical theme. Actually, it's really good fun.
Oh, God, it was the last straw.
I've just got to the bit in the second episode where they are trying to accuse everybody of having not pulled off the crime of the century, including Sarkozy, the original, the French Prime Minister. Quite how his name gets into the story. I mean, it is so bizarre. Basically, four guys who are French are on a private plane. They are on the tarmac in the Dominican Republic, about to leave to go to France, and they are surrounded by the Drug Enforcement Agency in the Dominican Republic, and on board are 26 suitcases full of cocaine, which is a lot. It's about
they were away for the weekend.
Well, they only went for 2 days. 700 of cocaine, and all four say
maybe they wanted to turn the beaches white.
Exactly. They were going to France with 700 kilos of cocaine. And all of them say...
700? What did you say? Oh, God.
They all say, we have no idea how it got
how it got there.
No. You go, hang on, 27
I bought some pants, I bought socks, I bought a T-shirt. What? Oh, yeah.
No, it's all, I mean, it's very, very suspect right from the get-go, and that's why you sort of can't stop watching it. But the two main pilots are both ex-French military pilots who had the highest possible accreditation in the French Air Force, to the level of nuclear pilots, i.e. they would have been the pilots who would have used nuclear weapons had the French Prime Minister told them to do so. So these guys have had careers beyond reproach. So you sort of think, well, I don't think it can be the pilots. Then there's a sort of backup pilot, and you're sort of wondering what the backup pilot's doing there. And then there's a businessman. And then there's the guy who owns the plane, who has actually sort of subcontracted it out to one of those companies that does, you just sort of like a bus. You just pick a rental. Exactly.
It's rent-a-plane, wasn't it?
And And very quickly, right at the beginning of all of this, you suddenly realize that there's something going on in the Dominican Republic because they're videoing everything as this plane is about to take off. There are more video crews than policemen there. And you're thinking, okay, there's something really smelly about that. And before you know it, the four of them are taken to court and they are literally told, right, well, we're going to arrest you and hold you for a year until we have decided what to do.
Now, are they going to actually arrest them, or are they going to do what Greta Thunberg did and just have their hands behind their back
and pretend? Yeah.
By the way, I've just added that, so I'm looking forward to watching that later. So there you go.
Anyway, it's a great, it's a yarn that is spun extremely well in this 3-part documentary. I would highly recommend it. It's easy to watch. I'm desperate to know what happens at the end because it just keeps you going. It's wonderful. There are escapes. There are planes, boats, trains, the government, the military. Everybody's involved in this. And
it's doing quite well. It's number 3 in the Netflix charts today.
Well, there you go.
Not our pop figures, all right. Number 3, it's Cocaine
number
Plane.
3.
Number 3. Cocaine air smugglers at 30,000 feet. You cannot fail to find it. You will find it.
Love it.
Wow.
But it's worth it. If you just want a really easy watch and you just, it's like, it's a page turner. Every page you go, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened.
And can I just clarify, when I said love it, I meant that I love the idea of watching that documentary, nothing to do with actually the contents of that documentary. Thank you very much. Indeed, we don't condone any sort of behavior like that. Thank you.
Right,
This from a man who literally doesn't take aspirin. I am not making that up. He won't take a Tylenol. I was thinking America again. He won't take a ibuprofen. Nothing.
No,
doesn't matter.
Not my thing
Me,
either.
anything that's going.
No.
Excuse me.
I don't care.
Thank you.
Whatever.
On the truth.
Right. I've got to ask you a question. Talking about stuff that you see, and
Yes.
it was extraordinary. I was chatting to my son who lives in Texas,
Yeah.
and he was talking about AI. And
Oh, happy birthday
terrifying
to
it
the
is.
twins for the other day, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. 27, the little men. 27.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Anyhow, and he was saying how terrifying AI is, and I said, well, that's kind of a bit ironic considering you're one of the people who created it. So shut up about it, idiot. And because we have a loving relationship. Anyway, he was saying, have you ever heard of VEO3? VEO3. I said, I know what you're talking about, which is basically how I've been with my son ever since he was born. But anyway, VEO3. I said, oh, no, I don't. What is it? He said, you won't believe it. It'll freak you out. So I look it up, VEO3. And what it is I start to watch, and there's a car show. There's a guy taking you around a big, lovely car show, an auto show, like you get in Las Vegas or anything. Nothing is real.
Oh, wow.
Nothing. Not the cars, not the guy, not the venue. It is all AI. And then I start to look at other things, and it's like, holy God. And where it becomes really meta is this. In the middle of a storyline, the interviewer goes, well, how do you feel about not being real? And the person who looks as real as the three of us, well, I'll exclude myself because I look half dead, but you two, right, goes, what do you mean I'm not real? And so it's quite extraordinary. They're questioning their own existence.
Oh, my God.
And I defy you at first glance as a regular punter to try and appreciate it's not real.
Okay, I'm going to write it down.
It's absolutely.
Yeah.
And where is that?
You can just get it on YouTube anywhere you like. VEO3, VEO3, and it's a number 3. But there's a new thing that they've done. Talking of things that you said, what have I seen? And it's this. And again, completely with AI.
Yeah.
And they're taking the classical biblical stories, the ones you know and you might love or you might not love, story of Jesus, story of Noah, Jonah, David and Goliath, doesn't matter what it is. And they're making it as if the people had an iPhone. And if it was in modern times.
Wow.
It's you can't tell it's not actors actually doing this. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
How perfectly oh my God. Watching some of this now, is it ridiculous?
You can't tell that. Now you think about it. This is just its infancy. Yeah. Just its infancy. And I had a meeting in town. In fact, he it was a weird thing. He started to comment on the show one day. I didn't know who he was. But he seemed so interesting. And I contacted him afterwards. And we met up in town. And I brought along my chum, who Colin Vaines, film producer. You know him. Yeah. And to discuss AI. This guy's one of the leading edge lecturers in AI. And the stuff he was saying was jaw-dropping. So you think this is the infancy of it. This is the crudest kind of video game which you look at now, like Pong, where you had one white line, two little white squares, and you played tennis. And we thought that was the height of sophistication, right? So imagine in a year's time, 5 years' time.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to still be quite careful with AI in terms of who you use and where you get the information from.
Completely.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and in fact, it was the ex-MP, Rory Stewart, and he uses 5 different ones because he doesn't want information being channeled to him just from one source.
Yeah.
And he will ask all 5 the same question, and their answers will be very different depending on whether it's an American service, whether it's a Chinese service. Absolutely fascinating. He was saying, particularly on the Chinese one, where he asks contentious questions, they will come back and say, sorry, the server's busy, because they don't sort of cover themselves. I know, absolutely fascinating.
Wow.
So it's getting better and better. But did I tell you about the agency in Los Angeles that can now absorb program ideas?
No,
so
go on.
They've invested in an AI modeling tool, so that if you've got a 2-page outline, well, let's say you take your book in, your last book, and you hand it over on a memory stick. It goes into the system. Within minutes, it can tell you what the production budget should be for that film, what similar films have been made, what they made at the box office,
who you should cast.
Best.
Wow.
I'm working on that right now. Did you know that? That's exactly what I'm working on with AI.
What time of year is best to make it, which state is best to make it in, and what the tax breaks are like.
Good grief.
Oh, yeah.
Who the business managers are for all the talent, who's free and available when, how much you would pay for that particular talent. Then it'll do you an entire production budget, an entire 120-page script, so 1 page for each minute of film. And then it will make you the whole thing visually in 20 or 30 minutes. And you say, I want the person to be the lead characters. Instead of Butch and Sundance, it's going to be Brad and George, for the sake of argument. And you put them into the mix. 20 minutes later, you could be giving it to a panel, a decision-making panel, saying, this is the rough outline of what we want to do. What do you think? And they could say, no, let's not have Brad and George. Why don't we have,
Russ and Phil,
Ryan and Ryan, or whoever it may be? So you can get all of that stuff done in real time, in effect. And what it'll do, particularly, I think, in Los Angeles, it'll take away the chances of making bad movies, because you'll be able to see very quickly what the potential is, the financial potential, or the potential to get awards, success, etc., etc. So people will make, I think, fewer mistakes, and you won't get bad movies being made. But what it might do is turn off creativity, or tone down creativity.
Well, you've opened up an absolute huge can of worms. Imagine how stupid I felt when I had the meeting with this AI guru, right?
Yeah.
Who's written 17 books. He's no slouch. And I go, look, all I want really is to turn it into sort of a shooting script. And he looked at me like I'd said, could you invent something that you could put food in that might keep it cool? And you go, it's called a fridge. I mean, I felt like a moron, because he said exactly what you've said.
Did he come over a bit frigid?
Yes, with all the whistles and bells. He was quite smeg about it.
Did he close the door in your face?
Yes. The light came on and Hillary O'Neill did a 20-minute turn. Anyway,
that's not cool.
Did he have a hot point or two to make?
Yay!
Hey!
But it is. All I wanted was like, well, could you? I just want to turn it because I got production companies. I can't afford to go. I don't know how to write a film script. It's a completely different thing from writing a book. And the mistake is, if you think you can do both, you're an idiot or a genius. But chances are you're the first. It's a different talent. I know what I want. Maybe, but it's a question of time. And anyway,
AI can do it for you.
But this is the thing.
No more writers' strikes.
And it's not just that. The other thing, Chantal, is you say to it, I want it in the style of Quentin Tarantino, or I want it in the directed by, not just the acting, but the nuance of the direction. I'd like it like a Scorsese movie, or I'd like it like a David Lean epic, or something like that. You can choose what you.
Well, imagine you were Tarantino.
It does it in minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
But
it's minutes. Yeah.
you'd be really, really pissed off about that because of his brilliance, as you like, as an auteur director, is just going to be copied, and you'd be cross.
Well,
this
is what one of the major storms is about, isn't it? That a lot of people in the creative world are saying that they don't. That's it. Make AI fair, and make it fair, and they've got the AI in fair highlighted for AI. That's the campaign. So it's a bit like the Me Too movement. Make it fair and FAIR.
Yeah.
So
it is unfair. The problem is, as I say with so many things of the modern world, the genie is out the bottle.
Yeah.
So you can shout and rave and rant and, lie on the floor and stamp your feet and kick and scream. It ain't going away. And that's the issue.
I have to say, it shouldn't be confused as sort of that is a rather cliche excuse to sort of think that nothing can be done about it. And you're right, the genie is out the bottle. But it's the same with social media. If this country really, and the world over, really wants to clamp down on some of the misinformation and the content that on social media that is out there, it's very simple. If you were to turn around to Meta, for example, the people who own Facebook and Instagram, to Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, what's now known as X, to the Chinese and say TikTok, all of these different social media companies, you turn around to every single one of them and say, if you don't sort your misinformation out, we will ban your websites from the country. And if they knew that they were going to lose an audience, they would 100% get on top of it. It's because no one has the backbone to do it. It's because no one wants to say anything in case they look like the bad guys or they look like the ones who are sort of curbing.
Well, too busy selling off Gibraltar.
It is just an example. It's exactly the same with AI as well. I think AI should be licensed, personally. I believe that as the only way to... I think it's the only way to get a grip on it. Exactly the same way that if you were to say to someone, here's a knife, you could either kill someone with it or you could make something out of it in food wise.
Yeah.
So depending on whose hands you put the knife into would determine what happens with it. It's exactly the same with AI. AI could be amazing, but unfortunately, if it falls into the wrong people's hands and there is no way of telling whose those hands are or licensing it accordingly, then we're never going to know.
What about freedom of speech? I mean, the Americans would go mental if you took away their freedom of speech.
The Americans are mental. Sorry. I mean, what are we worried about? Too late. So what am I worried about?
Chantal and I, spend a lot of time in Los Angeles. Chantal more than I, of course. We're watching the absolute chaos and civil war. And you've got these moronic politicians, absolute idiots, Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, the rest of them going, well, it's very peaceful. I can't say Maxine Walters. I can't, there's nothing happening really. What? I don't know. Are they on drugs? Are they stupid? Are they blind?
It's the same school. I'm sorry to bring it back to it, but it's the same school of thought of the likes of Greta Thunberg. It's people live in a world where they are allowed to see what they want to see, to read what they want to believe, and ignore facts and ignore everything around them. And very soon, and this is why AI slightly worries me, I like it by and large, but this does worry me, is we are going to live in a world where video evidence stands for nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. As I said, look up VEO number 3, and you will say, I'm not sure I can believe. Well, I don't believe the news anyway because it's garbage.
I know. Well, in that case, stop watching the right-wing media because I watch the other stuff and it's absolutely flies in the face of everything that you think that you've seen and perceived. So but there,
I'm sure there we are.
The right-wing media. Are you having a laugh?
What?
I wish it was right-wing. Then it might be half sensible. Gracious me. Well, anyway,
we're not gonna agree. What else have you seen?
Okay, I've seen something that takes us back, in fact, to our government. It's a story of our times, although it's 5 years old, only because the BBC really do fantastic documentaries occasionally. And this time they have absolutely eviscerated the businesswoman Michelle Mone. So
yes.
What?
Won't know who she is. But she was a businesswoman who started a bra company about 20 years ago. She had moderate success. It ended up with a turnover of about 10 million. I'm sure there are lots of boob jokes that we can go through, but anyway.
Don't. Don't. I see your face. I can see the words forming. Leave it.
Yes. No, there are lots of boob jokes, but let's leave them where they are. You're quite right. But
leave them to breast.
Don't.
Sorry.
Don't.
She had moderate success as a businesswoman who invented the bra that basically made your boobs look bigger. So it was, you will maybe remember.
Before it went tits up.
Possibly.
I give up.
Russ and I will remember something called the Wonder Bra and the advertising that came around the Wonder Bra. And the famous photograph of a girl looking down at her chest, and the headline underneath is "Hello, boys."
Oh, Eva Herzegova.
They didn't actually have to change it
immediately.
You know, they took that over to Germany. They didn't have to change it much. They call it the Wunderbra.
Exactly. Anyway, encourage him. In the old days, there was a Wonder Bra, and then about 20 years ago or 15 years ago, there was something called Ultimo. Anyway, it was a bra I had heard of. She eventually became sort of known as a bit of a sort of business superstar, and she ended up being made a baroness under David Cameron. And then she and her husband split. She ended up with a super successful businessman who was in the finance world called Doug Barrowman. And then her downfall starts, and it's all around the PPE, the extra protective clothing that had to be worn by medical professionals.
Unbelievable.
And she offered to provide these to the government, and seemingly made an awful lot of money out of it at a time where everybody was on their knees, I think.
How many millions?
It's completely fascinating. It takes you all the way back to the beginning of her story, and it's really, really fascinating. It's
on BBC?
BBC. It's a two-parter, and it's called The Rise and Fall of Michelle Mone. I mean, they probably could have found something more catchy than that, but they resisted the temptation to find something more suitable. But anyway, it's called The Rise and Fall of Michelle Mone.
That was just naked greed.
I know.
I'm sorry. They made the only person who foresaw all of this is Phil Dave. And I've said this for years. The only person who said this...
I just need to practice the lottery numbers.
This is a terrible mistake. The mental and economic downside of this will far outstrip COVID. And I argued with him at the time. I put my hands up. I thought he was wrong. And within about 3.5 minutes, I realized he was blindingly right. Completely right.
I didn't want... Listen, it's not about right or wrong. I don't want to be
No,
right.
but you were right. And I've always said that. I didn't see it coming.
It's very generous of you to say that. But the upshot is because I actually just think we live in a world where people don't look at the bigger picture. We live in the here and now. So exactly the same way. I mean, not to bring a close on a serious subject, but everything that's going on with Iran at the moment and Israel striking those targets, it's very simple. If Israel don't do this, right, people can say what they want. They can say that Israel's the aggressor. They are not. It's just as simple as. But if Israel did not do this, then Iran would be allowed to, under the agreement that delightful President Obama left with Iran, would be allowed to develop nuclear weapons that they would ultimately use for starters against Israel. And then I promise you to the rest of the Western world. Guaranteed. And I don't understand why it is people really struggle with this. It's not rocket science, no pun intended. I'm being deadly serious, right? It is very simple. Iran don't believe the West should exist, and they certainly don't believe Israel should exist, and they are going to do all they can to destroy it. So as far as I'm concerned, good on Israel, and I'm going to end by saying I've got to trot off, sadly, but I'm 100% with Israel and let them go all the way and destroy those absolute swines, please. On that note, have a good rest of the day.
The stylings of Phil Dave. He'll be back at midnight in our beautiful Crystal Suite, which is on the deck number 3. Deck number 3 at midnight.
I'll be under the nuclear waste pile. Goodbye.
Oh, bye-bye. Have a good weekend, Phil.
And on that bombshell, wow.
No,
God's
wrong words.
I didn't know that was coming.
No, he wanted to get it off his chest. He wanted to get that. I mean, honestly, there's so much news to talk about. And Phil is way in the weeds with it all, and I don't know how he copes with that onslaught of news constantly coming.
It's very, very difficult, and I find myself, and I have done my best because we've talked about it on air and off air, of me weaning myself off that because it's affected me deeply.
Yeah.
But I feel that I'm not being informed, and I'm like a fool in paradise if you don't know what the hell's going on. You're not going to get it from the BBC. I mean, great documentaries, all the rest of it. I'm not knocking any of that stuff. But you're not going to get it from the news. You're certainly not going to get it from Sky News, who are despicable. And you can make your own mind up if you go on something like X. And you can make your mind up. You know, it's not prescribed. It's not propaganda. It's all of that stuff. As I said, try it. You will be gobsmacked by the AI. These films.
VEO3. I'm going to look it up right now.
VEO3. It's just bonkers, and the religious stories are amazing.
Good. Well,
amazing. You imagine some influencer, but they're a biblical character. I mean, it's both hilarious and very telling at the same time.
Yeah.
Because some of them are just plain out funny, and some of them are actually quite poignant.
Okay. All right. Well, I should enjoy looking at that.
Right. So we've got the Cocaine at 35,000 feet thing, which is on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cocaine at cocaine. What was it?
Well, we'll find it.
Yes, 30, whatever. Cocaine there.
Yeah,
and the other was
Michelle Mone.
Yeah, and there's a very good new drama series also on Netflix called The Survivors, which is an Aussie murder mystery. Which is good. Quite a lot of flashbacks to three very suspect deaths 15 years earlier. Then the story jumps forward, but it's good. I think it's rather well done. It's quite understated. It's quite gentle. It's nicely written, and the characterization is good. Haven't finished it yet, but I've done 3 episodes, and Netflix.
Speaking of which, series 3 of the Chelsea Detective is back. It's on You. Excellent. Just Adrian Scarborough is so,
he's lovely, but his hair
holds it back. It holds it back. He just looks like Van Gogh wandering around. I keep thinking to do a biopic of Van Gogh.
Redder and redder. I think he needs to give up a bit on the.
It is very red. He is very ginger. Maybe he's redoing the Spice Girls. Until we meet again, Chantal Rickards, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Isn't she fantastic? Chantal Rickards, OBE, and well-deserved too. That's what I say. Thank you for joining us and letting us join you this week. Myself, Neil Longy Long, and his guests, me, Phil Dave, Chantal. Your messages and all your comments, of course, are the foundation, the very spine of every show, and we appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday, myself and Neil. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. And if the weather's kind to you, enjoy it. Until then, remember, no hurty.